How are you all doing tonight? Good. I'm doing pretty well. Sober, but well. So just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kez. I am 33 years old, so I am as old as the Friends Forever program, which I was just reminded of, made me feel a little bit more ancient than I was. Currently I'm doing a PhD program at Queen's University of Belfast. I'm actually studying ecology, so I'm looking at birds of prey, trying to figure out what's going on with birds of prey in the world. But I'm not here to talk to you about birds. Otherwise, well, I would if I could. I wanted to talk to you today about Northern Ireland, about the programme, about being in Friends Forever, and the impact it had on me.
And my name is Natalie. I participated in the Friends Forever program in 2018 as a part of the team Raiders for Change. My team was the first team from New Hampshire and the first team from Spalding High School. So we were sort of the pilot program for all of the future U.S. programs. And I'm very happy to say it went really well for us, and there will now be 2 more groups going on for New Hampshire this year.
So the last time I was here talking at a Rotary Club was in 2001 in Providence, Rhode Island. That's where I ended up on my program. I was 15 years old. I just had my very first plane ride. I'd never been on an airplane before. It's the very first time out of Ireland, because I'd never done that before. And it was a trip that was just a couple of weeks after 9/11. So you can imagine it was a little bit of a crazy time to be here. It was the very first time that I had to stand up and talk to a group of people, which I'd never done before at 15. And little did I know it's actually going to be pivotal for the rest of my life, because I'm now doing a PhD, which means I have to talk to people on a daily basis about the things that I'm doing. And it led me to really follow my dream and follow my dream for ornithology. In 2001, the program was really based at cross-community relationships. It was bringing Catholic and Protestant children together in a place that we couldn't really do it at home. You know, we had to get through the conflict and try to foster these relationships in our community. And it was focusing on us, the youth, at the time. This was a time when we didn't have social media. Remember 2001, how nice that was? There was no Facebook, there was no mobile phones. I had a disposable camera that I dropped in a lake. So that was all my photographs for it. But you know, to wind it up and all of that. But the skill building phase for us was really focused on us as young people. We had to travel to 3 different high schools. For me, that was like living my dream. It was like I'm in a movie, I'm in an American high school, this is so cool. And we got to spend those days with children in those high schools, learning about their community, learning about their curriculum. I did calculus, right? So that was a little bit crazy for that. But the main focus for us really was on fostering this relationship between Catholic and Protestant children in a place that was completely neutral, and just experiencing life on the other side. But being an American here just after 9/11 was nuts. A lot of our group didn't actually get to go because their parents didn't want to send them over. You know, there's enough terrorism at home, don't send them to America for more. Right? But back at home, we were only 3 years post the Good Friday Agreement. In the summer that I came over, there was 260 petrol bombs that had went off in North Belfast. There was 2 blast bombs which injured over 300 people. So the conflict was still very real for us and still very real for me. I grew up with all of that. We travelled from it to a country that was experiencing the aftermath of the single deadliest terrorist attack that has ever happened in the world. And it was a really interesting experience because there were things that were close to home for me. Whenever we got to the airport, there was people from the army carrying rifles, and that was normal. It was normal for me as a child. There was a bomb scare in a mall in Providence, and again, this is something that we just dealt with all the time, but for the new American friends that we had made, this is brand new for you guys. You didn't know how to deal with it like we thought we did at 15. You know? But seeing how everyone came together in the aftermath of that was pivotal for me. It didn't really matter who you were. Everybody was coming together with the consequences of conflict. And sectarian hatred and division that I had seen growing up all of a sudden didn't really seem to matter anymore. As an alumni from 2001, I have a very different experience from the other guys in this group. The cross-community projects were once pivotal to stop sectarian hatred and bring young people together. They didn't have the chance socially or spatially to do that at home. It didn't really matter. Nowadays our youth are constantly connected with social media, Snapchat, Facebook, and bringing people together across communities is a little bit obsolete and outdated. Unlike other programs I was part of as a young person, Friends Forever recognised the rapid growth of communication and has evolved to build a better world by encouraging and developing leadership abilities in our youth from all across the world.
Now, a lot has changed since Kez's program in 2001. Friends Forever has not only drastically built the curriculum of the programs, but also expanded its reach around the globe. In addition to working in Northern Ireland, we also work with teams from Israel and the US. There have also been teams from other countries such as Tajikistan, Cyprus, and Ukraine. We also have 3 campuses, the office and farmhouse in Durham, New Hampshire, Annalong, a brand new campus in Northern Ireland, and a plot of land and a rainforest in Belize, which will be our environmental and sustainable living hub. And while KES's program mainly focused on the cross-community relationships, things have also changed slightly there, so that there's a large focus on leadership, life skills, public speaking, serving the community, and personal growth. It's through doing things like this together that participants have to lean on each other for support, build relationships, and overcome barriers with one another, all while they're making a meaningful impact on themselves and those around them. Since 2001, we've also added opportunities for alumni to be involved in the program. We now have fellowships that alumni can apply for, where they can go abroad to be anything from interns to trainers, and continue expanding their involvement in Friends Forever. I personally was given the honor of being the 2019 Eileen B. Foley Fellow, a privilege granted to those who exhibit a strong drive to create positive social change and build meaningful connections between people. I also was a part of an alumni team this summer with Una, Eden, and Clayton, where we work with the next generation of Friends Forever participants, leading their workshops and guiding them through other activities and their experience with Friends Forever.
So how did I end up back here talking to all of you guys? Well, I've kind of been involved with the program on and off since I graduated. I became a scout leader in 2003, which was developing youth-led programs through Scouting Ireland to encourage and inspire young people to connect to each other in outdoor pursuits, but also to connect to the natural world, because that's where your mental well-being really comes from. In 2010, I joined Steve, the director of Friends Forever, at the Stormont Government Buildings in Belfast, where I delivered a speech that was a little bit more serious than this one, to try and get people to realise that the programme was still really relevant and really important in Northern Ireland. In 2014, I had what I thought was my dream job as a zookeeper, so unfortunately I had to drop everything because my time just was taken up by looking after my animals, and I didn't have the flexibility in my schedule that I used to. But that kind of changed last year whenever I was offered my PhD program. Now I have the freedom and flexibility to be able to return to my other passion, which is youth work. And when an opportunity came through my inbox a couple of weeks ago from Steve to reconnect with the alumni movement, I jumped at the chance. But initially I had applied just to become a team leader, to go with the teams from Northern Ireland, come over to America, do the program and fulfill the program for a year. But for some reason I was offered the opportunity to come to New Orleans, so here I am, we'll do that instead. 3 weeks ago I met up with alumni in Belfast for the first time, and it was spectacular because these were people that had come through the new program, and I was able to see how everything was working for them. And luckily, with all of the support from the Rotary clubs, I'm here in this amazing city that I hope to see so much more about, and talking about how a program like Friends Forever really does change lives.
Friends Forever has also had a major impact on who I am today. It's because of my involvement with Friends Forever that I've built the confidence to make changes in my lifestyle and to proudly stand by them. I developed a deep passion for everything I stand for, and I continuously try to share and spread the lessons I have learned from Friends Forever. Now I would like to share the most important one with you, the biggest part of who I am. Back in 2018, during the program when my team was in Ireland, we went to a place known as International Meeting Point. It was there that refugees and asylum seekers can go for meals, free English lessons, and support. While there, the only task my team had was to talk to the guests, to talk to strangers, to do the very thing our parents taught us never to do. However, one thing Friends Forever has taught us is that there is a bigger danger in keeping everyone a stranger. Once we built up the courage to speak with the guests, it felt like the world stopped spinning. Complete strangers, if I can even call them that anymore, opened up about their lives and experiences. They had the courage to let me be a small part of their story, but little did they know they would forever be a large part of mine. It was there that I met men from Iran who had PhDs in vast areas of science, but were only given work in KFC to support their entire families. There were women with children, but little did most people know, some had lost some of them on their journeys, and others had some in their home countries. It was there that I met old friends who hadn't seen each other in decades, but somehow crossed paths again in that very place. I learned things about them that I never would have been able to imagine, things I never would have thought about them. They defied all preconceived notions I had about them. It was then that I realized that everyone has a story, and at no point should I or anyone else assume someone else's experiences, because you just never know what someone has been through or what makes them who they are. This is the one story that I'll never stop sharing, and a lesson learned that I'll never stop trying to teach. I see it as one of the best ways to better those around me. Now my Friends Forever journey brings me here to New Orleans with you all. I'm so excited to learn more meaningful lessons, to grow personally, to serve the community, and find new ways to help change the world with the experiences and opportunities I'm given here. I want to thank you all for your support in making these monumental impacts possible.
I too am thrilled to be back part of the Friends Forever family, and I'm really excited to share my life experiences with the alumni and all of our young people. There's still a lot of work to do in Northern Ireland. We do have a post-conflict Northern Ireland, but we have to recognise the progress that's already been made. Continued support from Friends Forever will ensure the success of the programme in Northern Ireland and beyond, and we can only say thank you.